All right, friends, it's T-Man. We're back with you could say it's a Q&A educational video. And I've done this before. I'm going to do it one more time, maybe just to clarify some things for some people out there that do not know what builds muscle, because they just don't know. Anyway, so I got NCBI here at the bottom, and I have some stuff here at the top by, AI overview. They always pop up stuff. It's the same thing. It's taken from NCBI. Here at the bottom, if you look at the bottom here, it says muscle damage from eccentric exercise mechanism. Okay. A unique feature of eccentric exercise is that untrained subjects become stiff and sore the day afterwards because of damage to muscle fibers. So that's a unique feature of what? Eccentric exercise. Is that untrained subjects become stiff and sore next day due to what? Muscle damage. It doesn't say trained people. It says a unique feature of what? Eccentric, untrained subjects. Okay. Yeah. All right. And then they tell you some stuff here at the top, AI, whatever, but I'm not going to go into that. So we know that unaccustomed, unfamiliar forms of eccentric exercise, which involves muscle lengthening, causes micro damage to muscle fibers in untrained muscles. There you go. All right. So this means untrained. Unaccustomed means untrained, unfamiliar means untrained, and untrained means untrained. Okay? So yeah, eccentric exercise is the triggering device that will cause the damage. That particular movement, eccentric, is what damages muscle fibers. Okay, dude? So do we have that? Is that clear? So what's a unique feature? Or unaccustomed exercise is known to do what? Cause widespread muscle damage. Yes, okay. But here's the problem. So we know that unaccustomed, unfamiliar forms and untrained muscles, you get this damage doing eccentric exercise. Okay. So what happens when you become accustomed to lifting now? Well, we have a problem. So just a second. The group that came back in the second. All right, let me see. Oh, no, not this one. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second. All right, broski. So I took this part. It's from NCBI as well, okay? So there was a group that came, they had damage to their muscle fibers, okay? But we're gonna pop it up from NCBI because AI puts up stuff all the time, but it's the same stuff. So, all right there. A second period of exercise, a week after the first, produces what? Much less damage. But the question is this. So we know that unfamiliar, unaccustomed, untrained muscles, eccentric exercise causes what? Damage, right? But then when you're accustomed, there's no more damage. But why are you not getting damaged? Even though you're coming back to the gym, you're lifting, you're working out, why aren't you getting any more damage? You get less, and then there's no more damage anymore. You understand me? So what do they say here? One proposed mechanism for the adaptation is an increase in sarcomere number in muscle fibers. So you build some contractile proteins. Contractile proteins, they make you stronger. You built muscle. So it says the reason why you're not getting any more damage is because your body, your muscles built muscle. So if your body built these sarcomeres, then you're stronger now, right? You got stronger muscles. So if you're stronger now, physically stronger, your muscle's really strong now, what do you need to do to get more muscle? Because listen to what they say. We do know that a unique feature of untrained subjects is because they become stiff and sore the next day due to what? Muscle damage. So what is muscle damage doing exactly? You understand what I'm trying to explain to you? You built muscle. Okay, look, I'll make it more clear, okay? Let's go to... All right, we're in myonuclei acquired by overload exercise, precedes hypertrophy and not lost on detraining. The popular thing, whatever. So there's down here, gotta scroll down here, the famous map right there. Hypertrophy, there we go. So A model for the connection, it says right here, model for a connection between muscle size and number of myonuclei. In this model, myonuclei are permanent. Previously untrained muscles acquire newly formed nuclei by fusion of satellite cells preceding hypertrophy, before hypertrophy could happen. They have to acquire these nuclei, okay? Newly formed nuclei. Where does it happen? In untrained muscles. Look what it says here. Untrained, first training, satellite cell. And look, hypertrophy. They hypertrophied. You got these sarcomeres in number in fibers. Get it, dude? You built muscle. But now look what it says here. You detrain, retrain. Okay, if you detrain, retrain, you get this, right? The question is this. They said one proposed mechanism why the damage, the triggering device to build more sarcomeres is damage, right? We know that because that's what it says there. Because it says you got much less damage. And why are you getting much less damage? Because it's resistant from further assaults. But what is making your muscle resistant from further assaults from your exercises in the gym? The acquiring these myofibrillars. Get it? Your muscles are stronger. Listen to me. It's you in the gym lifting a heavy weight is recruiting motor units. You're getting stronger recruiting motor units. Get it, dude? You're recruiting motor units and androgen receptors. But you're not damaging muscle fibers lifting that heavy weight because you're not putting in the work to damage it. It needs to be overworked harder than the last time, than your last workout. Much harder if you're doing full range of motion. But if you're intelligent, then you'll stick to just the eccentric. You'll overload the eccentric every time you'll come in and you'll be able to get this damage to come back. Okay, now you know the triggering device to get this damage to build these muscles, but the question is this. What builds muscle? Okay, this is the triggering device to build muscle. Get it? Right here. The muscle damage, untrained, first trained, satellite cell fusion with a hypertrophy. This is the triggering device, right? Unfamiliar, unaccustomed, whatever. Eccentric exercise is known to cause what? Widespread muscle damage. That's what eccentric exercise is known to do. Okay, we need to train it harder because the muscle is a lot stronger. So that's totally different training than somebody trying to lift a heavy weight and trying to recruit motor units. We're not trying to recruit motor units. We're trying to damage muscle fibers so we can adapt them by growing bigger and stronger. Now that we know the triggering device, what do we need to build muscle? That is the question. Now that we know what causes the damage to the muscle, so eccentric exercises is what causes it, that particular exercise. But you can still lift in a full range of motion, but you have to overwork that muscle. You have to overwork it to get it to become damaged. That's all you have to do. 2 parts. If you're doing full range of motion, you're going to have to overwork that motherfucker like crazy because that muscle is very resistant from becoming damaged. Now, here's another thing. If the muscles do become damaged, they cannot damage with a repeated bout. All right, now let's go there. So we have something called, hold on a second. I don't know if it's going to come up here. Hold on a second. All right, sorry, I found it. Here it is. Protective effect against muscle damage from a single bout of eccentric exercise. Yes. Recent advances in understanding the repeated bout effect, the protective effect against muscle damage from a single bout of eccentric exercise. That is the reason why the triggering device to start to initiate muscles to go through a repair and then remodel them more of these contractile proteins, the remodeling part, you can't go into the gym every day or every other day. You can't keep breaking down proteins. You'll never build any muscle. That's why it's based on periodic exercise. And then you focus on eating the rest of the week and growing. Now, I'll bring that up in a minute. So, the repeated bout effect refers to the adaptation whereby a single bout of eccentric exercise protects against muscle damage from subsequent eccentric bouts. Yeah, it'll protect it. And the sarcomeres will protect the muscle from any more damage. but it'll protect it from a repeated bout. You understand me? In other words, if you come in the next day and you got damaged, it can't get damaged again. But you can keep breaking down more proteins. If you do that, you'll shrink, or you might get rabdo or disease and die. I don't know. So the muscle needs to go through a 7-day period, a full week of a repair and a remodeling. That's all it really needs. And it starts, here's the thing. It goes, the first time may go a lot longer. It may go like 14, 15, 16 days, I don't know. But the more you come into the gym, it'll get shorter and shorter. The shortest period of time, it'll be after 7 days. It'll start being 7 days. Providing, let me explain this. So the only time you're going to see that muscle grow now is what? To grow muscle mass, the rate of muscle protein synthesis must exceed the rate of muscle protein breakdown. Must. Creating a positive net protein balance. That's what we're trying to do. So now that you know the triggering device to damaging muscles, right? Now that you went on the day to damage all your muscles on the day, they need to be damaged on the day. There isn't no split routines, nothing. The only thing you can split is upper, lower body. You cannot, I'm telling you, it's not going to work well for you. You have to work on every body part on the day. If it's your upper body and then your legs the next day. Now, I've done a whole body one time, my upper and my legs, but that's just crazy to do that. But anyways, yeah, that's why you split it, better chances of growth, whatever. So after your workout, there is a 4-hour window. You'll need to go and eat in that 4-hour window to replace a lot of those broken down proteins, to put back these aminos and nutrients and everything back in there so it can initiate the building process. Now, you still need to exceed that breakdown throughout the whole week. You need to stay like this for whatever period of time you want to build your muscles. If you don't want to build them no more, then stop, and then they won't grow anymore. Get it? It's really simple. They'll only grow if protein synthesis exceeds that breakdown. And they'll only grow, repair, and remodel. They'll only remodel if the damage was good enough. If the damage wasn't good enough, it may just repair. But if it was good enough, it'll keep going through a remodeling all the time if you did a good damaging session. So you'll constantly remodel, and you'll always be growing muscle. There isn't a time when you will not be growing. But you won't grow if you're in, negative nitrogen. This balance is not positive, it's negative. You're going to have a big problem. You're not going to grow. It's really simple. So creating a positive, resistant exercise, adaptation, protein intake are the key formulas in stimulating protein synthesis while maintaining a consistent supply of dietary protein can support this process over the long term. You hear my voice is really deep, man, because it's like, because I'm, how should I put it? I'm in positive, very positive. I'm more than positive nitrogen balance. I'm exceeding that breakdown because I'm in that phase now, and I actually went to work out the other day. I did my upper body. So that also will continue for the entire week. So that also raises testosterone levels because blood levels are elevated, protein synthesis is extended, and all your hormones are raised sky high for that entire week. So they go even higher. So there isn't any we're lifting and we're crashing. We're not lifting weights and crashing our testosterone because we're building now the rest of the week. We broke our house down and now we're building our house up. Get it bigger and stronger. Yeah, that's the whole idea. Yeah. Muscle growth, hypertrophy, protein synthesis, whatever. You get the idea. I don't need to go through this. There's an NCBI report here at the bottom. Nutrition and muscle protein synthesis is descriptive. A muscle is going to gain mass. Protein synthesis must exceed protein breakdown, just like it says in NCBI. See? So does science tell you what builds muscles? Yes, it tells you exactly what builds muscles. It tells you right here. It says that, where's the discussion? Hold on. Conclusion. An adaptation exercise, protein synthesis can be enhanced by controlling the type of protein, the amount of protein consumed, and the timing of protein consumption. Especially after a workout, a grueling, damaging workout. Exercise, I don't know where that section is. I don't know where it was, but I guess it's somewhere. I guess this is long shit. Um, I don't really exactly know where to look. Amino acids, they tell you here, aminos, right? Sarcopenia, what is this? Acquired amino acids, nitrogen contained within amino acids is a vital component of DNA and other molecules. Yeah, it's amino acids become critical in times of stress, such as sepsis, cancer, or trauma inquiry. That's why you can resolve all your problems by increasing your amino acids. How do you do that? Eat a lot of animal products, and you can even additional amino acids in tablets, which is made from animal products anyway. So who cares? Yeah. Anyways, I don't know where it is. It's protein synthesis exceeds that breakdown to see that mass. You get the idea, dude. I'm not going to look through this whole fucking thing. It's right here, NCBI. You can read it for yourself. Protein synthesis description review. If muscle is going to gain mass, protein synthesis must exceed protein breakdown. If muscle is going to gain mass, it must, protein synthesis must exceed protein breakdown. If it doesn't, you're not going to see jack shit. So that whole workout that you did in the gym was for nothing, just breaking your body down like what Blaha does 24 hours a day. Breaking his body, I don't know what the fuck he's doing there. Breaking proteins all day and aging the shit out of himself. Now, if you want to age yourself, go to the gym. Go there often. Go every day, every other day, or every 3 days, or 4 days, or 5 days, 6 days. I don't know what the fuck you're doing there. Keep going to the gym and keep lifting. And don't put any effort into it. And guess what? You'll get the desired outcome that you're looking for. Lazy people get lazy results. But people that do what it takes and not what they love, being lazy, get results. Get it? So don't complain about people that get results and you that is not getting results because you want to do what you love and not what it takes. Get it, dude? And that's how it works in this world, unfortunately. I'm sorry to break all of your bubbles, but that's how it works in this world. I don't know about your world, the fantasy world. Now, DOMs, I can bring up DOMs here, but it would be meaningless to bring up any more science. I've already done numerous videos on this. Now, man, again, what do you call it? Yeah, and here's another thing. So where that ended, hold on a second. So we have something called myonuclear domain size limit, okay? So that first one that we did, remember the nuclei stuff? So this is nuclei, determines nuclei domain size, okay? This is what determines it. So MND size has a ceiling limit during what? Hypertrophic process, beyond which extra myonuclei are donated by the satellite cell to do what? To support further muscle growth. Yeah. It can only give you so many in that hypertrophic action that you took when you were untrained. Get it? So what do you need to do? You need to repeat that. You need to repeat that damaging effect that you saw in, what is it? Nuclei overload precedes hypertrophy and not lost, or, oh man, nuclei overload, whatever, or that nuclei thing. You get the idea, okay? So you reach the ceiling limit where? Well, you were trained. You were untrained. First training, satellite cell fusion, and hypertrophy. Get it? It reached the ceiling limit. It gave you these nuclei, and then it's not giving any more. But in order for you to support further muscle growth, here's the thing. You could go to the gym and eat as much protein as you want. Protein synthesis exceeds this breakdown. But to support it, those nuclei, they synthesize protein. But you're going to say, I got testosterone. My testosterone is going to synthesize protein. Yeah, but if you don't have any nuclei, you cannot synthesize protein. Because guess what it says here? It says that the extra myonuclei donated by satellite cell it's beyond which extra nuclei are donated by satellite cell to do what? To support further muscle growth. How do nuclei support further muscle growth? They synthesize protein. That's what they do. They're like the little workers there, dude. Without those workers, forget it. So what do you need to do? You need to get more workers. How do you get more workers? You got to damage those muscle fibers. What's preventing the muscle fibers from getting damaged? They're resistant from further assaults. So if you go over to exercise-induced muscle damage and adaptation. So if you scroll here, even at the top, they tell you on a custom exercise has been shown to result in temporary repairable skeletal muscle damage. Bam. All right. So at the bottom, when you go here at the bottom, what does it say here? It says these regenerative fibers, along with adaptations in the connective tissue, may provide what? Greater resistance to further assault. Further assault by what? Your man-made weights. Get it? So if you want to get stronger, then you have to lift. You have to lift a specific way to break those muscle fibers. Are you strong enough to break them, or are you weak? Because as far as I know, there's a lot of weak people in the gym because they can't build muscle. You understand what I'm trying to explain to you? There's so many weak people out there that they cannot build muscle. They're so weak they can't build muscle. And that's why they're small and skinny and weak. They pretend they do, but they say they're strong. But how, if you're so strong, then why can't you build any muscle? See what I mean? Because number one, you're not damaging it because you're weak. Number two, you're not eating enough to build it anyway, so wouldn't it even matter? Protein synthesis needs to exceed the rate of that breakdown. Or forget it, you're wasting your time. There's a lot of people that waste their time in the gym. In the gym, bro. So yeah, man. I don't know what else to tell you there, dude. Yeah, I hope that helped. The triggering device and what builds muscles. I could add some more stuff to this, I suppose. You know, I could go to DOMs or whatever, but this is just pointless. You get the idea. I think people get the idea. Yeah, it's not rocket science, okay? I'll see you in the next video. Stop lifting a heavy weight. Stop pretending. Start getting stronger. You know what I mean? Start building muscle, get stronger. Start building muscle, get stronger. All right? Stop pretending you're strong. Get strong. Stop pretending you're strong. Actually be strong. Get strong. Yeah, that's kind of how it works. I'll see you in the next one. Tell us what you think about the friends. Comment down below. I hope that helped. I don't know. Maybe that helped. Maybe I got to redo this. I'm not really sure. Maybe there's something I missed there. I don't think so. There's just so much to talk about. I'll see you later, man. Ciao.